Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 201 of This is the G Podcast. Yes, yes, yes. You know it. I'm Tommy B, and we're taping during Veterans Day weekend. So thank you to all of you who served. Thank you for your service. We appreciate all you've done and continue to do. You know, each week we do news, politics, pop culture, that piping hot tea from the one and only Tonya B. Big thanks last week to DC The Brain Supreme from Tag Team, who helped us celebrate episode 200. We appreciate you. We're back this week with our usual. Talib Shabazz joins us to discuss the hot news topics, especially Young Thug and his lyrics in the Fulton County case. We'll talk about that. Tonya B is actually out this week, so Talib and I are going to do double duty. We're going to cover your tea for you. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get it started. Mike, Syracuse Mike, what you got in the news this week?
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
Former President Donald Trump took the stand in a New York federal courthouse Monday in his civil fraud trial. Trump was angry and said the claims were worthless and the trial was a political witch hunt. Court observers said things got heated at times, with Trump unable to stay focused on the questions he was asked. The judge even asked Trump's attorneys to control their client. Outside the courtroom, he maintained he did nothing wrong.
This is a case that should have never been brought, and it's a case that now should be dismissed.
The judge has already ruled that fraud was committed by Trump's company. New York Attorney General Letitia James is accusing Trump and several top Trump Organization executives, including his two oldest sons, of fraudulently inflating the value of his properties to secure better loans from banks and insurance companies. A second officer was acquitted Monday in the 2019 death of Elijah McClain. McClain, a young black man, was killed after he was stopped by police, restrained, and then injected with ketamine by paramedics. Nathan Woodyard, an Aurora officer, was found not guilty of homicide and manslaughter by a jury following a trial in state district court. He was the third officer to stand trial in McClain's death and the second to be acquitted. One officer was found guilty in the case. The White House says it will not support Israel's plan to control security in Gaza indefinitely.
We don't support a reoccupation of Gaza by the Israeli Defense Forces. We do think that there needs to be a healthy set of conversations about what post-conflict Gaza looks like and what governance looks like.
That's National Security Council spokesman John Kirby. Around the world, calls for a ceasefire are getting louder. The union representing actors has reached a tentative agreement that will end the longest actors' strike in Hollywood history. The 118-day strike officially ended just after midnight today. The union committee vote was unanimous. The agreement now goes to the SAG-AFTRA National Board for approval on Friday. The only Palestinian member of Congress, Rashida Tlaib, has been censured.
I can't believe I have to say this, but Palestinian people are not disposable.
Talib got very emotional speaking to fellow members.
We are human beings, just like anyone else.
Talib is accused of sharing false narratives and for anti-Semitic rhetoric. A censure is an action brought by other members of Congress against one of their own. It's a public punishment and is only topped by expulsion. The resolution was introduced by Georgia Republican Representative Rich McCormick. The Young Thug trial in Atlanta is one of two major court cases in the news there. The other, of course, is the 2020 election case. Young Thug is a rap artist, and he and several other defendants are charged with violating Georgia's RICO Act and for allegedly participating in a violent criminal street gang. In a major court ruling, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Ural Glanville ruled that the rapper's song lyrics could be used during the trial.
I'm going to conditionally admit particularized lyrics, and those lyrics are found within States 18. There's 17 sets of lyrics.
While Judge Glanville will allow the lyrics, he made it clear prosecutors cannot just throw words out. They have to tie them to the case. Young Thug's attorney believes the lyrics could prejudice the jury. West Virginia Senator Joe Machin has announced that he will not seek re-election in 2024. Manchin is considered a moderate Democrat, and while some party members have expressed frustration with Manchin over the years, his departure is seen as almost guaranteeing that his seat will flip to a Republican in the very red state. Georgia is among the states that have been targeted with suspicious letters mailed to local election offices. According to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, a letter possibly laced with fentanyl was sent to a Fulton County election official. It's similar to letters that were sent to election offices in other states. Some of these letters were intercepted before reaching their destination.
It hasn't arrived yet, so they're trying to, get that, intercept that before it gets here.
That's Raffensperger. He says election officials are being equipped with Narcan and are receiving training on how to use the opioid overdose treatment just in case it's needed.
Thanks, Mike, for the headlines, man. The NewsMaker Crew is here. He is back for another week. Y'all give it up for the one and only Talib Shabazz, yes, or Shabazz.
Depends on how much magic you want to put on it.
Like Fitz.
Right.
That commercial kills me, man.
Sprinkles. Yeah.
Sprinkles.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah, thanks again for, great interview last week with DC.
Yeah, man, that was a good one. I love DC.
Yeah, DC was ready for 2 more hours. Go ahead, DC.
Indeed.
Go ahead, DC. Man, another crazy week, man. I'm just going to jump right into it, man. You can just, the headlines. Thanks, Mike. And I'm not going to go too far into it because we're going to split it up, man. We got a musical conversation to have as well as a conversation about the tea because Tonya B's out this week. So we'll cover that for her. But you can censure, like, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, but you can't censure Marjorie Taylor Greene. What kind of shit does that make?
That's the whole talk. That's the whole conversation that everybody's having. This is a woman who, come on, man. Jewish space lasers started the California wildfires. You know what I mean? And again, it's that narrative. It does not. What Rashida Tlaib was saying does not fit the narrative. And the narrative that they're trying to go for is that everything is all good with Israel and, gung-ho Israel. And it's like, come on, y'all.
I'm just saying, it's like, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want to say, as you say, the hypocrisy. It's like, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has been doing this since she got into office.
Yeah.
And so just interesting. The other thing, Joe Machin, don't be confused by Joe Machin, y'all. He's doing what he does. And there's some money involved.
Of course.
Because Joe Manchin. I tell people, they're like, well, he's not being a good Democrat. I said, look, that dude's got a Maserati and he's got a yacht. Joe Manchin is loyal to his pockets. Yeah. So whatever's going on right now, somebody paying Joe Manchin to do it. So just take it for what it is with a grain of salt. The other thing is, man, the SAG-AFTRA thing is back on track. The actors are back. But what I say? You know what I say to leave?
What's that?
Just more white actresses being paid more than black actresses. So I don't know how. You know what I'm saying? It's like the black actresses, in line, all picketing. And I'm like, you do know ain't none of y'all in the top 10.
Right, exactly. Yes, just because you were an extra on Tyler Perry's show. You know what I mean?
That didn't come up. Just notice nobody said anything about that. Yeah. So, all right, sisters, keep on. I hope it works out for you. Yeah. The big thing, man, and I'm glad you're on the show because we need to have a real conversation about lyrics. You heard in Mike's report the fact that the judge is allowing, I think it's like 17 lyrics.
17 different passages
to be used.
Right.
And what he's saying basically is you can use them. You just can't go out and pick any lyric and use it. Right. These passages have to be proven to an event or linked to an event.
Correct.
So when you hear that, because there's some brothers who are pissed off that rap lyrics at all are being used. But what are your thoughts, man?
There's we've been prosecutors have been trying for years to get rap lyrics entered into different testimonies when having different rap lyrics entered into evidence, to use against someone, a defendant. So I find it, it's never been done before. And I'm glad that the judge, kind of put some kinds of stipulations on it you know, in order to not let this just go anywhere. Because, you know, let's be honest. Rappers are definitely capping out here.
Hey,
so see, you mean to tell me, you know, you want a jamming lie to be entered into evidence about something that I was supposed to have done or not done?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on, y'all. But, you know, I find it, you know, bittersweet that it happens on Fonny's watch. You know what I mean?
Why do you say that?
Because, you know, for years, Caucasian prosecutors have been trying to get rap lyrics, you know, entered into cases. And, you know, like when people are, you know, defending them, you know, having to defend themselves in court, they want to institute or they want to bring in these lyrics as evidence of what this person's mindset was, or this is him kind of admitting to a similar crime. And you know, to the best of my knowledge, it hasn't been done.
It almost took Snoop down, did it not? It almost.
I mean, the Snoop, they did not allow it in Snoop's case.
They didn't allow it.
You know, exactly. And that kind of, because they knew that from what he was rapping, it would have no choice but to kind of bias the jury.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't hear about a dude saying, I'm going to put a cap in your ass. And then, you know, and here I am arrested for putting a cap in someone's ass. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you were calling for it. You know what I mean? You must have known it was going to happen. Obviously, you're hanging in situations that facilitate you having to bust a cap in someone's ass.
You know, I'm not laughing at the scenario. I'm laughing at the absurdity. And
exactly.
let me tell you why I say the absurdity. You know, because, you know, I get into it, you know, when I post on Twitter, man, you know, there's a Twitter beef about to ensue around the corner every time I post. So a dude comes at me and says, you know, well, hey, it's about the art. And I said, well, you know, let's qualify art, you know, because my whole point is this. I get it. You know, we come from, I mean, it's not like I come from, you know, like Trump says, make America great again. I'm not from that era. Okay.
Right.
I mean, when we came up, you know, we had lyrics that were edgy as hell because that was the beginning of the Prince era with the stickered labels. I mean, the stickered albums.
Yes.
So it's not like, you know, I was in the Leave It to Beaver era. You know, no. I mean, there was some edgy shit out there. You know, you had Two Live Crew defending freedom, you know, freedom of speech. I mean, there were a lot of things that were going on. But my point is, the difference is when people are dying, you know, I think that's the difference. The difference is, if you are, even if, okay, The Godfather. I'm a big fan, you know, of course, Godfather, you know, what is it? The Goodfellas.
Yeah.
You know, I follow and watch those movies. I get it. But ain't nobody going after, you know, Mario Puzo, or nobody's going after Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, because they're going to get it right. Because you know why? Because they're going to find a head horse in the bed next to them.
No, but not just that. They're using fictional hypotheticals. You know what I'm saying? They're using fictional hypotheticals. They're taking it based on books. They're taking it based on a story published by. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you are using your blueprint that you have, then, you know, in my opinion, you're just a dumbass. If you put your blueprint in lyrics for millions to hear and millions to see on social media, that's on you.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, if I'm Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm not coming out with a fucking cookbook, you know, on, you know what I'm saying? You know, I know just the truth. If you know, Jeffrey Dahmer does not have a cookbook out there on how to prepare people.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? He's smart. He knows he's being implicated.
Right.
Or he could be. So he's not going to put his shit out there like that. So if you put your blueprint to crime on vinyl, digital, CD, whatever, and somebody gets it and they can bring it back to you, that's on you.
Okay, so
That's not on the art, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You put your shit out there to be exposed. That's it.
Okay, so yes, but you're talking about, people that don't necessarily, they're not the brightest bulbs in the bunch. You know what I mean?
Then you know what?
What I'm saying, Tommy, is that that starts the slippery slope. You know what I mean?
Well, how? But how? Wait a minute.
Because let's look at what these people, because when you talk about rap lyrics in particular, that's what we're speaking on.
Mm-hmm.
Rap lyrics, when it comes to the people that are doing it, what kind of experiences do they have? You know what I mean? Wait, hold on. This is not these rap music doesn't appeal to just the well-educated. Rap music appeals to the very uneducated. You know what I mean? So, and if the uneducated are what is being promoted as the new cool, you know what I mean? Then what do you expect? You know what I mean?
Let me stop you there, Tlaib. But being uneducated doesn't automatically make you a criminal.
It doesn't.
There are many people and parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts for years who have finished or are not finished high school, hell, 5th grade. Okay.
Yes.
But they didn't go into an industry and create art, quote unquote, of their crimes. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, I think there's a difference between education and ignorance and just being a dumbass.
Well, see, okay. So now we're going to say that, there's some training standard that we were supposed to know about, but they didn't get the manual about. You know what I mean?
You said on the podcast, we were talking last week about your aunt, or I don't know if your grandma.
Right.
Common sense, man.
Yeah.
It's common sense. It's not really, if you're smart enough to make millions in the industry, okay, first of all, shit, you have surpassed all of us.
Right.
That's genius within itself to generate millions in this industry because it's such a competitive industry. If you're in it. So my point is, I get what you're saying, but my point is, I'm not going to say because, again, ignorance of the law, you know what that means. You've heard that before.
Yes.
It is not an excuse, nor is it a defense.
Right.
So I've got to say, I'm not calling these guys ignorant or stupid because they're not. They're really not. These guys, right. Young Thug is not a dumb guy.
No.
These guys aren't dumb.
Right. Not at all.
T.I. jokes around and people joke. Man, T.I. was an honor student. You know what I'm saying? These guys aren't dumb. They know what they're doing. It's just that when people jump on, like, it's just like you and I were doing a podcast, all of a sudden other people start jumping on. And if it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, we become so far removed from the little guys. We don't know what the little guys are doing, but they're attached to us. Right. He may not have known in the distance somebody was supplying him with some lyrics that they were actually, that were true. But it's just like, again, I go back because you read fiction. What's fiction versus nonfiction? If I put nonfiction in media and people catch on to it and people can prove that it's nonfiction, not fiction, then I get what you're saying. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you roll.
Yeah, right. Because really, it's an age-old argument. How many people really took the words of Donald Goines to heart and became, Iceberg Slim?
Yeah.
How many, we always have to, okay, if the argument is that we need to have more awareness that the things that we say and do are going to affect someone down the line, then I'm totally in favor of that. And I'm totally in favor of reminding people, that there are consequences to their actions. So you can't have, it's like, if Cardi B, and I'm not trying to wish this or anything like that, but if Cardi B, her daughter, followed the same route, and hit the stripper pole and started robbing dudes and stuff like that, we'd say, oh yeah,
allegedly,
this is right.
Allegedly,
this is it's a vicious cycle kind of thing. You know,
it never happened. It never happened to her daughter.
but the thing is that but if you make money off of, where I'm going with that is, look, this is what you've done. You want your people to do better. That should be what we all strive for, is for those who come up after us to do a better job. But how can you really say that you're giving your children the tools, the necessary tools, when the songs you put out are about wet ass pussy and beat my ass like bongos?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is what. So again, and this is what's being pushed as the narrative of, oh yeah, this is what great music is right now. You know what I mean? So and that brings us back to that article that you sent me about the little Yachty.
Yeah.
Hey man, look, I'm gonna be honest, and it's funny because I know Yachty's dad. I didn't realize that Shannon was Yachty's dad. You know what I mean? And Shannon's been on the scene in Atlanta forever as a photographer, as photography as an art, doing. I mean, I remember I've seen him on the scene, like I said, forever. I did not like Yachty's first album. I was like, yo, I'm not his target audience.
It was the epitome
you know what I mean?
It was the epitome of mumble rap. It was exactly
right.
Minnesota.
and his defense of it, I was really like, yo, now that I know who your dad is, I know you know better. You know what I mean? So, okay, if you just trying to do your thing, then just be like, yo, guys, hey, I'm just doing my thing. You know what I mean? There is no other justifications necessary. I'm feeling this out the way y'all felt it out. If you don't like it, I'm not your target audience.
Yeah.
But the fact that, I've, as Yachty has grown over the years, this is not the 19-year-old with beads in his hair anymore. You know what I mean? This is a 26-year-old man who now has dealt with some stuff and seen some stuff and experienced some things. And the way the way he's looking at music from the way that he writes for other people, in their voice, which I thought, that's astounding anyway. You know what I mean?
Let me say this, because I don't know if people saw the article, but basically Yachty said hip hop is in a bad place.
Right.
Okay. He says, and I quote, "The state of hip hop is a lot of limitation. It's a lot of quick, low quality music being put out." Now that's from Yachty. Now go ahead.
Now, so here's and again, the funny thing is where you can't beat, the funny thing is that from where Yachty started to where he is now, he's grown as a musician. He's grown in his craft. He is not the same just happy-go-lucky, I'm just doing stuff to be here. He's actually putting thought, effort, and emphasis into his music. Now again, whether it's my cup of tea, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're not the target.
I'm not, but if there's something that he's done that I can appreciate, I'm definitely gonna ride it, and as a DJ, I'm gonna play it.
Well, let me ask you as a DJ. Now I remember that era because it's not too long ago, probably 7, 8 years ago. I didn't have a problem. I thought it was actually pretty good when you had, and I always screw up their last name, Ray Shrimmer.
Ray Shrimmer.
Ray Shrimmer. When you had Black Beatles, you had No Flex Zone, you had the Taylor Girls. I thought that was like the SoundCloud rap era. And I thought it was pretty cool because musically and target wise, it was for the kids.
Yeah.
What is it? Nene?
Nene, yeah.
You
Selecto,
had
all that.
Yeah. Soulja Boy for what it's worth.
Right.
But you had all that stuff in there that was targeting that was really kids. It was for the kids. You know, you had high school, middle schools. It was cool.
Right.
So it wasn't, and Yachty kind of, I guess, was the tail end maybe of that.
Right.
But I thought, even though it wasn't targeting me, it wasn't as destructive. You know what I'm saying? It was light-hearted, funny, and it got darker toward the end.
Yeah.
Toward the end of it, it got darker. But you know, Whip Nene, all the stuff was pretty much kind of dance stuff.
Well, exactly. Whenever something is centered around dance, it's always fun and light and happy, and that, you know, and that's where, you know, that's the difference of what made even like the, you know, DC success with the tag team record. You know, there were other What's Up records around that time, or you know, whatever Whoop There It Is records. You know what I mean? But it's what they were doing fit that party happy, you know. The other Whoop There It Is, like the 95 South, I mean the this and that, all those other joints were a little street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Still in the same vein, still in the same feel. But when we're talking about how DC and, you know, how tag team came across versus how the other came across, you know, there was a clear difference of, this one was ready for Disney. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why there was a Mickey Whoop There It Is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to jump back to the whole thing with Fulton County.
Right. So
so here's what I'm going to say, and let's go ahead and wrap this, and we'll move on to the T.
Okay.
But I do want to say that where we are with this right now is specific to 17, I guess, lyric items.
Right.
That and the judges said they have to prove, I guess, the connection.
Right.
So really, it's not necessarily on the artist; it's on the prosecutor. The prosecutor, they're going to have to prove this based on and they feel like they can. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can.
Yeah.
But I will say, and I think you and I have had the conversation before. I think hip hop is in a bad place, because I remember, I mean, I'm old enough to say when I was cutting the front yard with my little Radio Shack 9-volt battery headphones on, listening to WAOK in Atlanta when I heard Sugar Hill's Rapper's Delight. So I was cutting grass. Okay, so I'm old enough to remember that.
Right.
In addition to that, I can remember thinking of a master plan. Ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands. You know what I mean? And I dig into my pocket, all my money spent, you know, reaching in, nothing but land.
So and keep coming up with land. Right. Yeah.
It's when I look back, man, compared to where we are now, it's poetry. You understand? Yeah. And I when I heard about this 17 counts, I said, I'm just going to go back and look at some of my favorite hip hop songs and just look at it. I'm not even going to listen to it. I'm just going to read the lyrics. I just read the lyrics, and, you know, going back to KRS-One, of course, I come from the Public Enemy, you know, so it's a different level. But even just looking at some of the fun and the party stuff, lyrically, it was just poetic. I look at it now, even when I look at, and I read lyrics. Okay. Because I just, you know, I'm an artist. Well, not necessarily an artist, but, you know, I come from the music and I look at the lyrics. So when you look at the lyrics then and now, you say, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? And trust me, we had words. I mean, hell, coming from the Prince era, you read some of the lyrics, you know, the Dirty Mind album and the Controversy album, and even 1999, before he kind of started tailing back. You look at the lyrics and say, oh, damn, he said that. But my even Rick James, he said that. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly, he said that. You know, my point is, it still had a poetic vibe to it.
Right.
Today, I think they're going to find it easy. And I'm just going to say this, and I'll throw it to you to close it out. I think they're going to find enough based on these lyrics.
Of course.
But I'll leave it at that. I'll throw it back to you. Of
course they are. So just to tie it back in from what I was saying too, you know, the hope is that, my hope is that from us talking, you and I, or you and whoever listens to the podcast, or, you know, me and somebody at the barbershop, from adults talking, you know, I'm hoping to see us encourage the younger generations to want to do something else. You know what I mean?
You know what? You know,
and
just
because
don't even. I mean, don't change. Let me get this right. I want to make sure I'm specific about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't change your ability to create and be creative.
Mm-hmm.
Just do better and put more effort into your craft. Okay.
Well, you know,
and that's all I ask. I mean, we'll never be the target. We're not the target. But
I'm cool with that. But a hit is a hit.
Yeah, a hit is a hit, but be more imaginative instead of just taking the, you know, anybody can take shit and throw it on a tablet and put it out and it smells and it'll get people's attention because of the smell. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Pound down.
No, hey, you know what?
That booty hole's brown. Yeah,
yeah, that's okay. You can look if it's nasty and dirty enough, it's always going to get attention. It's always going to get attention.
Of course.
And you know what? In addition to that, and I'm going to end my statement. Can we get away from the 5-pound eyelashes? 5 pound on each eye. Can we do?
The umbrellas.
Oh, you said it. All right, your last word on that, man. You have the last word. Then I got to do the T.
That was the last word, bro. I can't.
Hey, yeah. I just want. Hey, Talib.
Man,
I just want to see them go.
Yeah, please.
Please.
There's a lot of trends I just love to see go. You know what I mean?
I love seeing natural. I love the natural look. I love how that's being embraced. But the 5-pound eyelashes, I'm just waiting for the day. Please.
Hey, man, look, it was cool for Betty Boop. You know,
yeah,
it was a cartoon character.
Jesus.
It was a cartoon character, y'all.
I know y'all like it. But there we go. All right, 2 items, man, real quick, and just jump in and give me your thoughts. The women are owning, man, 7 of 8 categories in the Grammys. So basically, they're calling the Grammys "You're the Woman." SZA's leading with 9 nominations, so she's in the lead for SOS. And here's my thought on this: I just think they're gonna use her the same way they use Beyonce. You know, Beyonce's not up, so they're gonna use SZA to get the black folks to watch the Grammys, and she's not gonna win. I hate to say it like that, but I just don't trust the Grammys. The Grammys for me have become like the royal family. You know, it's like the British royal family. No longer really relevant. It's it's an act every year, but the relevance, who cares? So, but I hate that for artists like SZA. I hate to see Beyonce go through it. Where they get all these nominations and they get nothing because basically they just use them to bring audiences in. Same way they used to use Fox back in the day for using us and using Martin and all our shows and get the audience in, and then they flip it.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of that going on.
It's unfortunate, but when I saw SZA got all those nominations for her album, which is a good album, I just said, man, they're gonna use this young lady, man, and not give her the big award. Not give her any big awards.
She's gonna she'll pick up 2 or 3.
Yeah, but they'll be
9, she'll pick up 2 or 3.
They'll be the ones that she should have gotten anyway. In my opinion.
I got you.
Keke Palmer has been granted temporary custody of her son, 8-month-old. Why do they name that baby Leotis, man? And no visitation for what seems like to be an excusive. an excusive, but an abusive ex. So, and they have video tape of this guy. So he's not going to get custody. There's a restraining order on him, and Keke Palmer's been granted temporary full custody. So, I'll say this, and you have kids. I say this. My advice is to always say, look, don't hook up with somebody, have a kid who you hate or you don't know, because ultimately it's just going to come out in the wash, and this is what happened. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This is what's happening.
And, yeah. And it's funny because Keke Palmer is really such a wonderful spirit.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? Like,
I hate to see it.
Yo, man, this whole stuff has just been crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, I've been on the road with Keke, as in a road managerial capacity. And yo, man, I was so mad.
No, really.
What I mean? Like,
it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Yo, man, come on, girl. You've been able to, you know what I mean? Like, really, man. She's been able to really hold fast to an image that hasn't really, where she's not really played herself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, yo, and that's rare, especially for young, for young women growing up in this, well, young people, period, growing up in this entertainment. It's like they get turned in every which way. You know what I mean? So for her to be like as level-headed and as, she's just caught up in some crap right now, and I hate to see it for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's very entrepreneurial. I hate to see it, even going back to how she like captivated the world, man, with Aquila and the Bee and all the movies she's done. I mean, I just, I hate to say, I hope everything works well with Chloe.
Yeah.
With the Bailey, one of the Bailey sisters and her guy. It's just like, sometimes you're hooking up with these knuckleheads and we can all see it. We're like, oh shit. Come. It's like
no, not him, baby. No, not him. Oh, it's him.
It's like we old enough to be the daddy. So it's like we sitting. This dude walks in the house. Hey, Mr.
Oh, no, not you, not you. Man, yeah.
And speaking of that era, get well soon, man. TMZ earlier this week said Kel Mitchell of Keenan and Kel was hospitalized, man, undisclosed illness, and but get well, Kel, man. Hope you didn't drink too many orange sodas, brother, because for those of you who have kids who know that joke.
Good burger,
but I heard, good burger. Oh man, Lori Harvey and Damus Idris are no more after
on to the next. On to the next.
But people. Let me say this: people are saying that Lori Harvey is being treated unfairly based on Common, because Common has dated Common, the rapper, and director, actor. He's currently dating Jennifer Hudson, but he's also dated
Tiffany
Haddish, Serena.
I'd have never let that one go. I'm sorry.
I know that's right.
Boy.
He's dated. There's a list. So people are saying, the media is unfair by looking at her list and not taking Common's list into account. So interesting.
Look, there's always going to be discrepancy between the receivers and the givers. You know what I mean? There's always going
Double
to be
standard.
Exactly, and I'm sorry that is the case. However, as a receiver, you know that you can't just receive any old body.
Yeah.
So, I'm just like, yo, baby, look, but really, how many boyfriends has she had?
Well, again, she's an adult one.
Right, like, who cares?
And again, when you put it in perspective and you show Common's list, okay, all right. So there you go. I stand corrected,
Yeah, but that's unfortunately, that's the thing too. It's that, dudes, it's just the difference in dudes and ladies, dudes will do whatever, whenever, you know what I mean? Like, I know some guys that there's no rhyme or reason. Like, it's what's available, and it's,
wow.
But sisters, our ladies can't afford that.
Yeah, so true.
Because they are left with too many of the consequences. So, it's, hey man, I hope that our sisters just make better decisions. You know what I mean? Because I want to see the best for them.
I do too. I agree with you. It kind of, again, I go back to Kiki. It hurts my heart to see her go through what she's going through.
Yeah.
Real quick, L.A. Reid has been accused of sexual assault in a lawsuit again. Spit it out. Go ahead. Y'all didn't see the water spit that just went across the room with Tlaib. Yes, again, L.A. Reid. I'll let you get back to that in a minute. And Paramount has announced another remake of The Longest Yard. And I got to ask, I'm going to end on this. That's what I'm saying. How many do we need?
You know what it is? It's actor strike. When there's an actor strike, they just start breaking out these old ass scripts.
My God, how many do we? Okay, we got the one with Burt Reynolds. We got
Classic.
the one with Adam Sandler. Now I guess there's
Classic.
another one. I don't know who's supposed to be in it. The first two, honestly, I thought the Adam Sandler did a hell of a job.
Definitely. You know, for a whole different reason than Burt, though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he was able to bring Burt back.
Right.
And actually have Burt in the movie, Chris Rock in the movie, Nelly in the movie. It was, Michael Irvin in the movie. It was a star-studded movie. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this. And it's almost like, God damn, you go so far, you destroy the legacy of the movie. You know?
If we're going to do Longest Yard, can we do Cannonball Run? That was my joint.
Hey, you know
that was my joint right there, man.
All you got to do is go to the campus of UGA. That's Cannonball Run. Vi's going to hate that. Kirby Smart Jr.
Man.
Kirby Smart Jr. is going to hate
that is
all right,
funny.
man. We love your thoughts. Go to castropolis.net. Choose the people poll. If you have any thoughts on anything we've said, leave us a message. You know, I'll play back the best. Again, thanks to the NewsMaker Crew. Talib Shabazz. Yes. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Man,
and when I come back, man, I got to do my review. Check this out. Just hang on, y'all, for Black Cake, man, which Hulu, I think, has done a big disservice by not promoting it. But Black Cake is an Oprah executive produced project, and I'll give you my review coming up next. Appreciate y'all.
More. This is the G Podcast after the break.
What you watching this week, Tommy B?
Black Cake is a new limited series that tells the story of Eleanor Bennett, a Jamaican immigrant who leaves behind a flash drive of audio recordings for her children after she dies. The recordings reveal untold stories about Eleanor's past, her journeys to America, and the secret she kept from her family. I really enjoyed Black Cake, man. It's a well-acted and suspenseful series that kept me hooked until the very end. The characters are complex and relatable, and the story does a great job of exploring the themes of family, identity, and the legacy we leave behind. One of the things I liked most about Black Cake is how it shows how the past can impact the future. Eleanor's children are forced to confront their own identities and relationships as they learn more about their mother's past. The series also does a great job of exploring the immigrant experience and the challenges that immigrants face. I'm also a little bit surprised about the promotion of Black Cake on Hulu. It didn't receive much. The series is produced by Oprah Winfrey, but it still didn't get much advertising. I'm not sure why that is, but I think Black Cake is a hidden gem that deserves more attention. Overall, I highly recommend Black Cake to anyone for a well-made and thought-provoking series. It's a series that will stay with you long after you finish watching it. Let me know what you think, y'all. Go to castropolis.net, hit the people poll, and leave us a message. Big thanks, Syracuse Mike, Tonya B, Vi, Tlaib, author and political analyst Harold Michael Harvey. Thanks to the crew, Millennial Nick, Lady J, Rashida, music by K-Dub, all of those who help us make it happen each and every week. Don't forget, y'all, every Sunday, 6 p.m., you can stream us first. That's when everything hits, all the new stuff, links in our social media, or just go to castropolis.net. Share us with a friend. Don't cost you nothing. And the big PSA this week is go get a shirt. Just go get a shirt, y'all. That's all. You can still get the 200th episode Bicentennial Tee. It's at castropolis.net for the rest of the year. Look for all the details and just a little explanation. Proceeds support bringing you this podcast every single week on time. How about that? Appreciate you all for supporting the show each week. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications. You can get them your favorite podcast app. You can go to YouTube. Again, just go to castropolis.net. We're doing the Daily 5, so Monday through Friday. Check your mornings, and one will be there. Okay? With that, episode 201 is in the can. Have a great week, y'all. Peace and power to the people.